Our life has become more convenient, and the source and composition of the solid waste discharged has become much more diverse. In recent years, the problem of waste plastics has become more obvious around the world, and its impact on marine life is a focus of attention. Plastics are so lightweight that they drift ashore due to tropical storms and other reasons. Finding empty PET plastic bottles on streets is a common phenomenon almost everywhere. This may be the reason why plastics recycling is drawing much public attention today. In this video, I will show you the recycling of polyethylene, which is one of the easiest plastic materials to process, and polypropylene, which is used for many applications including the familiar caps of PET plastic bottles. We at川瀬Industry ship out our recycled plastic products in 4 different types: crushed goods, volume-reduced goods, granulated goods, and pellets. Today, we will look at the production line of crushed goods recycled plastics. Hello, everyone. My name is川瀬. I am the president of川瀬Industry. I really appreciate this opportunity of talking to you today. It would have been my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to our plant in Kaizuka City, Osaka, and convey to you in person our commitment and passion for recycling. Regrettably, that is not possible because of COVID-19, which is affecting our country as much as yours. So, I will try my best to show you our activities on video. My company was established in 1966. So it has a history of 54 years. We started our recycling business some 30 years ago. Today, we recycle about 12,000 or 13,000 tons of plastics every year. I believe recycling is something we, as human beings, should be doing from the moment we take some blessing from Mother Nature. Environmental protection is an impending issue globally, and I hope my talk today about our activities will serve as a good reference for your purposes. In our plastics recycling business, we aim for 100% material recycling. Our policy is to only accept waste plastics that can be returned to plastics again. It is because we must exercise discipline in agreeing to accept only well-sorted waste at our plant entrance doors, if we want to produce recycled products of consistent quality. I would add that we consider the fee we receive from our waste discharging clients not as a waste management fee, but rather as a recycling promotion fee. As such, we ask the clients to shoulder a fair share of the recycling costs. In this way, we want to expand the markets for the recycled products. Our shareholders include manufacturers of plastic containers, belonging to the so-called artery industry, as opposed to us in the vein industry sector. Working together with them and with the companies that use the containers, we would like to build up an integrated trilateral recycling system. For this reason, our efforts have been focused on the recycling of waste polyethylene and polypropylene, 2 major general-purpose plastics. I am hoping that you will get some sense of our commitment to the recycling of waste plastics, by taking a virtual tour of our Kaizuka plant. So, let's begin. This plant mainly accepts plastic containers, drums, shipping containers, and pallets. The waste is transported in trucks like this. When a shipment of waste is to be newly received, the contents must be checked. We have the supplier present to us safety data sheet to make sure that it is okay for us to accept it into the plant. When confirmed, we start receiving the cargo. Even if there is no problem with the declared contents, we check the delivered waste to see whether it has a strong odor or some other secondary characteristics. We have a company-to-company contract as to the content of the waste we can receive. Some waste cargo may be found unacceptable because of its contents. In such an event, we ask the client to remove the unacceptable substances. Waste of different identity is occasionally brought in. For this reason, we make it a rule to confirm the labeling before we accept the waste. Recently, companies are more environmentally aware about the waste they discharge. We now have fewer incidents of waste being contaminated by undeclared substances. A loaded truck is weighed on this truck scale or weighbridge. The truck is weighed again after unloading, and the calculated difference is the weight of the cargo. Now, the delivered waste is unloaded by a lift. In principle, the used plastics arrive in steel baskets. Big plastic articles may be received as they are. In this way, waste plastic containers arrive in baskets. Each day, 10 to 20 large trucks bring in waste. Normally, one truck carries 1 to 2 tons of load, so a maximum of 40 tons of used plastics is brought in. Every month, we receive about 1,000 tons of waste plastic materials containing polyethylene or polypropylene generated by business operators. The waste plastics are piled up this way. We put the waste plastics into the shredding machine. We use different lines for different types of waste. Used plastic containers have traces of a large variety of contents, but they have been sorted out already to some extent by the discharging business operator. In this recycling line, a large blue plastic drum is shredded. Here, small containers in cardboard boxes are shredded. As you can see, our production staff are working diligently in this noisy environment. This is where we wash the shredded materials. The shredded plastics go through the washing tank to be washed. Then they are dewatered by the dewatering machine and transferred through a pipe by an air blower, to be collected in each line. Dewatering alone still leaves some water on the surface of the plastics, but they get dry while being transferred by the blower air. By the time they are ready for packing, they are completely dry. A large amount of water is used in this plant to wash plastics. We operate specially designed wastewater treatment facilities that can treat about 400 tons of wastewater a day. One-time use of water would be extremely wasteful and damaging to conservation of water resources. We have constructed a water circulation system in the plant that allows repeated use of water through treatment. Basically, the water once used and returned goes through chemical treatment. It is neutralized by adding acid when too alkaline and vice versa. It is returned for reuse after sludge removal. This is the equipment to remove sludge. These two large tanks are the first and the second settling tanks. Water that passes through these two tanks is reused as clean water. The sludge settles down at the bottom and the supernatant water is reused. The bottom sludge is dewatered by a filter press. The dewatered sludge is collected into a container and used as material for asphalt paving. While we recirculate water by our in-house wastewater treatment facilities in principle, we need to add some amount of fresh industrial-grade water from outside. The resulting excess water is discharged to public sewers, after confirming compliance with the local regulatory standards. Here, the shredded plastics treated in their respective lines are bagged into white bags. The bags are replaced every time the content reaches 500 kilograms. The shredded plastics are shipped out as raw material for new plastic products. This is our final product made from shredded waste plastics. They have been changed to fine chips. Since they have been thoroughly washed, they are crisp and not sticky. This is the stockyard. The bagged plastic products are stored by type. One bag contains 500 kilograms. So this pile with 2 layers of pallets represents about 1 ton of product. We used to make compacted products from waste film and other flexible plastics by first shredding them, and then melting them by adding heat to obtain blocks of some 10 centimeters in size. Then we cooled the blocks with water, exposed them again to just enough heat to let water evaporate, and finally shredded them into granules as final product. It required much labor and incurred high energy costs. Currently, we use a new machine called a squeeze dryer which we bought with 50% government subsidy. First, the waste plastics are shredded and then melted by frictional heat. Then, they are squeezed to remove wetness. Finally, they are extruded out of the small hole at the tip of the machine and are cut into pellets. The process is shorter than before. The conventional shredding machine consumed a large amount of electric power, but this new machine requires much less. In addition, we no longer generate plastic waste from the process with introducing new machine, due to high wetness when shredding offcuts, and 100% recycling has been achieved. These are the shredded chips to make pellets. For use as the base material for polyethylene or polypropylene plastic products, we produce the raw materials for recycled plastic products by solidifying waste plastics, after shredding and heating, as well as using the additional process step of pelletizing.川瀬Industry is also a manufacturer of 100% material recycled products, known by the trademark of Recyclables, using waste plastics as the starting raw materials. Because Recyclables products are made of polypropylene and polyester, they are free of hazardous substances and can be recycled even if damaged. These are some examples of Recyclables products. They come in various shapes. Some are colorful, but basically black is the standard color. We produce blue, yellow, or other single color products by using paints or the color of the base material before molding only, when the color black is not good for the required visibility or appearance in the intended application. Because they are plastic, we can produce various products easily so long as the mold is available. We are working to identify user needs and develop products, accordingly, to offer better products that are easier to use. These products are made as replacement for wooden products. They are made to look like wood. The surface is molded in such a way as to add the uneven texture. The major use application is sleepers to support very heavy objects. This mat is used to reinforce the soft soil ground. It was originally used as a substitute for iron plates and the like, but because the plastic mat is light and inexpensive, demand is increasing, especially among farmers. We also recycle home-use printer ink cartridges. The substrate of ink cartridges is made of materials other than plastic, but the outer part is made of polypropylene, which we can accept. The recycling process involves shredding and is basically the same as that for ordinary containers. The shredded ink cartridge is free of non-plastic materials. The substrate and other inside parts have been removed beforehand. These flakes are then further processed into pellets of about 5 mm in length, making it easier for molding of recycled plastics. These pellets are reused as raw materials for plastic boxes. Because it is a recycled product, there are traces of ink cartridge label on the surface. This is indeed evidence that the product is made by material recycling. As part of our social contribution activities, we welcome local elementary school students for a plant tour and JICA training participants from overseas. Plastic recycling is still a young industry. We should once again remind ourselves that after-use plastics are useful resources, not waste. The first step toward creation of a sound material cycle society is sorted collection of waste. Let us work together to recycle waste into products and create a sound material cycle society.